Hi, this is Randy. Welcome to my channel. Glad to have you here today. We're going to talk about Are You a Fool? All right, are you a fool? Things happen in life and you have enough problems without making yourself being out a fool. Before we do that, I want to tell you that on the right hand corner there's a subscribe button. If you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe, it'll help me. I need to get to 1,000 subscribers in order for them to push my video out. Are you a fool? Ecclesiastes 10 and 12. Words from the mouth of a wise man are gracious, while the lips of the fool consumes him. So words of a mouth of a wise man is gracious. People that speak that are wise and they're very intelligent on whatever subject you may be on, you want to listen to them closely. That's how you learn, by listening to other people and people that know what they're doing showing you how to do it. All right. I remember when I was a kid, I was probably 13, somewhere around there, maybe 14. Anyways, my friend's dad had 4 sons, and he was my best friend. And he took me hunting with him. We went rabbit hunting, and he loaned me a shotgun. He showed me how to shoot it, had me shoot it, had me load it, unload it, show me where the safety's at, never point it, blah, 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 and all this. And we went out and went rabbit hunting. For years, I hunted with him, his brothers, and his dad. But I had to learn, and I sit back and listen to them talk about how they hunted, what they look for, this and that, And so that's how I learned, by listening and paying attention. So the words out of the mouth out of a wise man are gracious. We need to listen to people. A lot of people have good knowledge from everyday life. They've lived for a long time. They've been through many things, and they could give you advice to help you out in life if you would listen. My mother told me, son, it's better to learn from other people's mistakes than to learn from your own. It's less painful. When you see someone doing something stupid, they've done something wrong, don't do that, all right? When you see people do things they shouldn't be doing, that's education for you. Best to learn it from other people who has suffered the pain than you doing it. Mom also said that it's better to let everybody think you're an idiot than open your mouth and remove all doubt, all right? Some people need to learn to shut up. I mean, you just learn to shut up. You don't say stuff when you don't know what you're talking about. Many times I had people over the years say things that was off the wall and they didn't know what they were talking about. All right, so this happens. Why? Because they're a fool. All right, they don't take advice. They don't grow in knowledge. They say anything that pops in their head, and that makes them a foolish person to do that. When people will not listen to sound advice, you must pray for them, learn for they're going to learn for the school of hard knocks. That's where they're going to learn. There's not a lot of knocks you'd have to take in life. You just pay attention and learn instead of going through the school of hard knocks. But some people, that's just the only way they can learn. They're so hard-headed and they make a fool of themselves. My mother said it's the best to learn from other people's mistakes than to learn from your own, all right? And like I did when I was rabbit hunting, I went hunting with some other guys, and the one guy, he was talking about it all the way there, and he was off the wall. And then when we got out of the car and started putting our vest on and started loading our guns, I said to this guy, I said, what's the limit on rabbits? He goes, what do you mean? I go, what's the legal limit? How many can you shoot? Oh, it's always been 10. I said, oh, always been 10. I said, you are from Missouri, right? Well, yeah. He was my friend's second cousin or something like that. I didn't know the guy. I said, you don't have a limit of 10. It's a limit of 6. You can only shoot 6 rabbits in one day. You can't shoot 10. And he goes, are you sure about that? And I said, there's the book from the state of Missouri, the Conservation Department. Open up, read it for yourself. Just go under the index, find rabbits, open up, it'll tell you everything about it. When rabbit season starts, when it ends, etc. We also asked him in the car one time, I said, have you ever went rabbit hunting during the summer? He goes, oh yeah, many times I went. He was just a blowhard. All right, well, rabbit season was in November. It didn't in July or August. So this guy was just blowing smoke. He wasn't knowledgeable about hunting or anything. So I told my friend and his two brothers and his dad, I said, put him down on your end down there. I don't want him nowhere near me. The guy, he don't know what he's doing. He don't know anything. And when we were hunting, when a rabbit would jump up, we're walking in a line, 4 of us walking in a line. If I had a rabbit jump over here, and I was always on the end of the left side of the line when we were walking, because I shoot left-handed, and he was down the right end. Well, if I had a rabbit jump on my side, he'd shoot across in front of those other guys trying to hit my rabbit. He only did it once, and before I could say anything, my friend's dad was all over him. You know, I told you, we're spread out. We're 25 feet apart. We're walking. We can stir them up. Anything in front of you and to your right is your shot. Anything past that over here is my son's shot. And then my shot. Randy takes everything in front of him and off to the left. He don't shoot across. And the guy didn't know anything. So what I'm saying is, the best way to not make a fool out of yourself is try not to act like you're intelligent when you are not. And never offer advice on something that you don't know anything about. It's ludicrous to do that. So some people just choose the hard path and refuse to listen to sound advice, and they just make a fool out of themselves. You cannot help someone who does not want help. All right? You can't educate someone that don't want to be educated. They think they know everything. You know, we all hear the saying, jack of all trades and the master of none. I've met those people, and they're horrible. And it goes on in the church too. There are people that try to act like they're much smarter than they are, and they say things that don't line up to the Word of God. And sometimes when something's going on, especially if you got, one time I was at church, 2 women got to bickering with each other, and one put her hand on her chest and kind of gave her a little shove, and they were getting hot. And I ran over and got in between them. I was only about 15, but I knew that it needed to stop. We were in the sanctuary, so I got in between them, kept saying, ladies, 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 doing this with my hand. And finally, my dad walked in with one of the board members or elders or whatever, and they heard the noise, and he came over, and I enlightened him on what was going on. Then I stepped out of the way. I wasn't knowledgeable to correct those women. I wasn't old enough to correct those women. I didn't know the scriptures completely like I should know them. I was a 14, 15-year-old kid, something like that, maybe 13, in that range there. But I knew that fighting in the church house, and then when I knew that one lady, I knew them both all my life, but that one lady, she gets hot easy. And when she put her hand on her chest, kind of give her one of these, I knew we were going to have problems. So I jumped in between them. Real nice, just ladies, ladies, please, we shouldn't do this. We're in a church. I'm doing all this. After about a minute, then my dad came walking in with the board member or elder, and they came down, and my dad talked to them, took them out in the office, and done things properly, and got it all under the blood, prayed with them, and got it taken care of. But see, I wasn't knowledgeable enough. I knew something was going wrong. I knew it shouldn't be happening. I wanted to try to help bring peace. But I didn't offer any advice, try to take sides, or anything. I heard it all, but I didn't inject myself because my father and mother told me don't ever do that. Don't act like you know something when you don't know it. So you cannot help people that don't want to be helped. And it's hard to watch someone go through pain when it could be avoided. But it seems that the only way some people can learn is through the school of hard knocks and from their own mistakes. They just don't realize it's a lot less painful to learn from other people's mistakes. It's a lot less problems to get the knowledge on what you need. If you don't have the knowledge, you need to get it on whatever subject you're doing or whatever you're going to be talking about or being in, like that guy went hunting with us. He tried to look through the rules and regulations of the book when we were riding a car. We said it to him 2 or 3 times. He had no idea about what you could and couldn't do, didn't know the limits, etc. Not only that, when we got there, he bought shotgun shells that were slugs. And as soon as we seen the box, I didn't even get to say nothing. My friend's oldest brother said, "What are you doing with those?" He goes, "I'm going to go hunt with you guys. I bought me some shells." Well, he didn't buy bird shot. I mean, he bought slugs. You're not hunting deer. You're hunting rabbit. This guy was just totally incompetent all the way. I didn't feel comfortable hunting with him. And I also told him, I said, I was just a kid, but I told his dad, if he's ever going with us again, I'm not going. He goes, he's never going hunting with me again, period. When we got back to town, my friend's dad told him, whatever his name was, I'll just call him Billy Bob. Billy Bob, you can't hunt with us anymore. And you need to do some study and find out when rabbit season starts, when it ends, when can you hunt them, how many can you shoot. You need to learn gun safety. You don't shoot across in front of 4 guys trying to hit something when you're told to take everything to your right, not to your left. He said, you almost shot my boy, because when pellets go out from a shotgun, as they go out, they spread and spread and spread. Anyways, it is what it is. So my mother, I put her picture on this because I love my mother, great woman of God, wonderful person. But she always told me, better to keep your mouth shut than to open your mouth and remove doubt. Don't let people know how stupid you are on a certain subject. If you don't know what it is, be silent. Learn from others. So I'm telling you, be a peacemaker like I was when those ladies got into it. Be a peacemaker, but don't try to go beyond your scope. I guess in this day and age they have a saying, stay in your own lane, all right? That's kind of good. I kind of like that. Stay in your own lane. And so if you're not in your own lane, you're not knowledgeable about something, then stay out of it. Don't do it. And so I used to tell my salesmen when I was training salesmen to sell brand new cars, I said, if there's something you don't know, you ask. This guy over here is a truck expert. He's one of my best salesmen, and he knows everything about trucks. You want to know about what it'll tow and all this? If you don't have time to run and get the book, everybody's real busy, especially if everybody has 2 customers on Saturday. You can just ask a guy when you walk by and say, hey, what's the rear end of that? Is it 351 or 410? How much will it tow? And then he can tell you. If you don't know, ask. Don't fake. Don't lie to people. Don't tell them what you think. Well, how much horsepower is this 2.5 4-cylinder? Well, I don't know. I think it's probably around 100. I heard a guy say that one time. I was on the lot appraising a car, and he didn't know that I heard him. And I walked up and I said, hi, how you doing? I'm the I'm the general manager. My name's Randy May. How are you? And they said, doing good and all that. And so I said, the 2.5 engine gets 150 horsepower. And the 3.0 V6 gets 150 horsepower. The only difference between them is the torque. The V6 has more torque than the 4-cylinder. But as far as horsepower, they have the same horsepower. And the 4-cylinder gets about 5 to 6 more miles to the gallon. And well, thank you so much. Well, when they were done, we wound up selling them. I had to close them. He said, I'm at the end here. I can't get them to commit and all that. I went there. I got them closed. And I said, I brought him office. I said, how many times do I have to tell you? You don't know, you ask. All right? You need to hook. Back then we had books and VCRs. I said, you need to watch the tape on the trucks. You're really lost on trucks. You need to watch the tape and find out what the difference between a 1/2 ton, a 3/4, 1 ton, which one can have dualies, size of engines, horsepower. You're real weak there. I want you to watch them, and I'm going to quiz you in a week, all right? You've been working here for over a year. Some of the stuff you should know. And I said, I've gave you school, and I've told you over and over. But don't tell customers wrong information. If you don't know, just be honest with them. Mr. and Ms. Smith, I don't know, but I'll ask one of my manager, and they'll give me the right answer. If you don't know, don't. And so same thing at church. If you don't know what you're doing, somebody's having marital problems, and they ask you for advice, and you've been divorced 7 times, you're not the person to ask, all right? You're not the person to ask. You need to send them to the pastor or one of the elders of the church. Let them take care of that because you don't know. Don't make yourself out a fool, and don't open your mouth and remove all doubt, all right? We all learned something today. I want to thank you for your time, this time till next time. Old Rev May is signing off. I love you and God loves you, and have a wonderful day.